summer. What'd you think of the Lambright Christmas this year?
Apparently, Dottie Amos did not like his picture taken or movies taken, and Pete always had to film him on the sly. And Sherry is busy cleaning up the sidewalk for the Lambright get-together.
Still got the time. Is Jimmy through serving his hitch with Uncle Sam? Do the kids still spend Saturday nights driving around hamburger dines? Did Jackie ever make it to the streets of Hollywood? And Bobby, I'd love to see him again, and I would if I could. Carry me back and make me feel at home. Let me cling to those memories that won't let me alone. Where it was always summer and she was always kind. Carry me back, Lord, while I've still got the time. Does the preacher still visit when some poor soul gets down? Do the stores still stay open on Friday nights downtown? Is Joanne still as pretty as when she wore my high school ring? When you see her, tell her I said July 1959. She'll know what I mean. Carry me back and make me feel at home. Let me cling to those memories that won't let me alone. Where it was always summer and she was always mine. Carry me back, Lord, while I've still got the time. Carry me back, Lord, while I've still got the time.
In July, after the wheat harvest was done, the Lambrights would get together and go on a day trip to either Deer Forest, Silver Beach, or the Toledo Zoo.
Saturday morning serials, chapters 1 through 15. Fly paper, penny loafers, Lucky Strike green. Flat tops, sock hops, Studebaker, Pepsi please. Ah, do you remember these? Cigar bands on your hand, your daddy's socks roll down. Sticks, no plugs, and aviator caps with flaps that button down. Movie stars on Dixie cup tops and knickers to your knees. Ah, do you remember these? The hip parade, grape truade, the Sadie Hawkins dance. Pedal pushers, ducktail hair, and pegging your pants. Howdy doody, tutti fruity, the seam up the back of her hose. Ah, do you remember those? James Dean, he
was keen, Sunday movies were taboo. The senior prom, Judy's mom, rock and roll was new. Cracker Jack prize, stars in your eyes, ask Daddy for the keys. Ah, do you remember these?
The boogeyman, lemonade standing, taking your tonsils out. Engine burn and wait your turn, and 4 foul balls you're out. Cigarette loads and secret codes and saving lucky stars. Can you remember back that far?
To boat-neck shirts and fender skirts and crinoline petticoats. Mom's word and a dirty bird and a double root beer float. Moon hug caps and loud heel taps, and he's a real gone cat. Ah, do you remember that?
Dancing clothes, little moron jokes, and cooties in her hair. Captain Midnight, Ovaltine, and the whip at the county fair. Charles Atlas course, Roy Rogers horse, and only the shadow knows. Ah, do you remember those? Gable's charm, frog in your arm, loud mufflers, bitch and woo. Going steady, Veronica and Betty, white bucks and blue suede shoes. Knock jokes, who's there? Dewey.
Dewey who?
Dewey, remember these? Yes we do. Ah, do we remember these?
If it weren't for kids, have you ever thought there wouldn't be no Santa Claus? Or look what the stork just brought, thank God for kids. And we'd all live in a quiet house without Big Bird or a Mickey Mouse. Kool-Aid on the couch, thank God for kids.
Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine and a smile. Do you ever stop to think or wonder why?
The nearest thing to heaven is a child. Daddy, how does this thing fly? And 100 other wheres and whys. I really don't know, but I try, thank God for kids. When I look down in those trusting eyes that look to me, I realize there's love that I can't buy. Thank God for kids.
Thank God for kids, there's magic for a while. A special kind of sunshine and a smile. Do you ever stop to think or wonder why?
The nearest thing to heaven is a child. When you get down on your knees tonight and thank the Lord for His guiding light, pray they turn out right. Thank God for kids. Thank God for kids.
June Lambright's dad, Art Troyer, owned a small cabin on Perrin Lake, which is located just north of Sturgis, Michigan. Uncle Pete took this movie in 1960 when the Lambrights spent a Saturday at Perrin Lake, enjoying the water.
stick around to unravel the mystery of how we came to be on this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion. This islander, a beautiful oasis for all the human races, the only home that we know. This islander, oh, this island.
Of the 14 8mm reels Pete took starting in '57, only 4 were labeled Lambrights. The last shots of Pete came from a reel labeled Family. In the spring of '57, our barn was hit by a tornado. Dad had the barn rebuilt this summer and used some of the leftover materials to build a playhouse for Rosie. You can see the new barn in the background. When Dad had his farm auction in '61, he worked out a trade with Uncle Pete. In this shot, I can see that the playhouse is already gone since it was sitting in line with the garage door of the house. In exchange for 4 calves, Uncle Pete got the playhouse. Uncle Pete, being the creative genius that he was, probably waited until the roads were snow-packed and icy and then drove the 3 miles to Dad's place to pull the playhouse back to his place on Road 5. It's interesting that Craig is the only one that didn't go into the cabin. And Linda, posting a note here, being a flight attendant later, probably said, "You're free to roam about the cabin, except for boys." Now wait, the story goes on. Both my brother-in-law Steve and Pete used the same veterinarian, Dr. King, at the clinic there in Topeka, and when Pete was done with it, Dr. King purchased the cabin. Sister Carolyn told Dr. King if he ever wanted to get rid of the play cabin, she'd like to have first chance at it. In the mid-'70s, when Char and Regina were, well, this age, Dr. King told Carolyn that if they took care of the moving of the shed, he'd give it to them. Around 2006, the cabin needed a makeover. New roof, windows, and siding. All of the 8mm movies you just saw were taken while Uncle Pete lived on the Denny farm on State Road 5 there by the railroad track. In the mid-'60s, both Uncle Pete and I decided to head west. Pete went as far as this 225-cow dairy farm owned by Dwayne Johns just west of Millersburg, and I didn't stop until I got to Denver, Colorado. My brother-in-law Steve also worked on the same farm with my Uncle Pete. Some years later, Pete purchased some land from a farmer named Phillips, a piece of property all of us came to know as Pete's Woods. As you know, a lot of these Lambright reunions were held in Pete's Woods. With me being out in Colorado, I hate to admit, but I pretty well lost track of my Uncle Pete up until 1985, when I committed to going to Florida every winter to see Mom and Dad in Pinecraft. Pete and Jewel brought the old Pioneer Trails bus down one year, and the Lambrights would always gather around Mom's table. In January of 2002, while having dinner at Mom and Dad's in Sarasota, it was obvious Pete was not doing well. He was admitted to the Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where I fortunately was able to meet with Pete one last time at the end of January. Less than a week after I returned to Colorado, I got a call from Mom that Uncle Pete had passed away on the 9th of February, 2002.
Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I?